Hey folks, I'm here with Chris in the Alienware booth, and we are talking about Steam Machines. So tell me, what are you showing us today here? What, is this the Alienware Steam Machine?
This is it. We're giving you guys behind the scenes and live demos of the Alienware Steam Machine running SteamOS. We'll get to some gameplay later because we know that's what everyone wants to see.
Of course.
But we're going to do a little Q&A and talk about the specs of the system and go through the controller a little bit first.
Okay, so let's stop beating around the bush and let's talk about specs. What are the specs of the Alienware Steam Machine? Are there tiers? What are the choices that players have?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're enabling 4 different configurations of the Alienware Steam Machine. The first one will start at $449, so an extremely awesome opening price point. Comes with the controller. That's going to start out with your Intel Core i3 processor, an NVIDIA GeForce GPU, 2 gigs of RAM, VRAM on it. It's basically an 860M class performance card, 4 gigs of memory, and a 500 gig hard drive. Now I will say, what we've learned from some previous products, like the Alienware Alpha, is that the 5400 RPM drive that we're shipping with did not live up to customers' expectations and what they want from Alienware. So we are now going to be shipping a 7200 RPM drive starting in the fall with the Alienware Steam Machine. That price point at $449 provides unique value at a great price. But because it's an open PC architecture, we provide upgradability. So for $100, you can double the memory and double the hard drive space. So 8 gigs of memory and a 1 terabyte hard drive. For $100 more, you can go from an i3 to an i5. And then for $100 more, so $749, you can go from an i5 to an i7.
Wow, those are great. And those are actually very competitive prices, especially with the first one. Now, you guys recently did the Alienware Alpha. Now, how has the Alpha, has it taught you anything when you were building the Steam Machine? What did you learn from that previous one?
Yeah, the Alienware Alpha has been a really exciting experiment. It provided the opportunity for us to kind of dip our toe into this convergence of PC gaming systems in the living room. We shipped the system with an Xbox controller and with the Alpha UI, meaning that we provided a console-like experience. We learned from that on how people do like to game in their living rooms and they want to have an experience, and now we can bring that full experience being delivered at the vision of SteamOS and truly capitalize on living room gameplay.
That's fantastic. Now, have you heard anything else from player feedback as well? Because I know Alienware is for the gamers. Have the gamers been very warm to the Alpha and to, I guess, your Steam Machine?
Yeah, gamers have loved it. Everyone asks, what will it play, right? Everyone wants to know, and I have to say, it's been blowing away some expectations. I mean, from a box that's basically the size of a Wii, we are playing today's titles at 30 to 60 frames per second at 1080p, medium to high settings. There's some games out there that will give even the entry level a run for its money, but that's why we made it expandable. Right. A user can go in there on their own and upgrade the CPU, the memory, the hard drive, and even the wireless cards if they so choose. So we've been told that the expectations of people buying this tiny little box are being blown away. They're playing games, you know, across all types of genres and really, really enjoying the gaming experience.
Yeah, no, that's great because, I mean, with consoles, it's kind of a closed ecosystem. Like you guys were saying earlier, with the Alienware Steam Machine, you can customize it any way that you would like. So
yeah.
That is fantastic. So I also have to address the elephant in the room. We've had these Steam controllers in our hands this entire time. Can you talk about the Steam controller and its utilization with your Steam Machine?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been playing with this now for a couple days straight, and I've really, really started to enjoy it. It's a learning curve, right? So it is a new controller with a new design. There'll be some muscle memory. You'll need to kind of get used to it, but once you do, the idea here is that it really starts to unlock some new types of games that you've never played before in a 10-foot experience. So the idea of playing things in like real-time strategies and sim games, right? These are games that are traditional keyboard and mouse, and now that they're being unlocked by this simple controller is just mind-boggling. So we'll take you guys through some gameplay in a bit.
Right.
But I've really enjoyed it, just the feel of it. It's a little bit bigger than an Xbox 360 controller. The buttons here are in a little bit different position, so they're a little bit lower. This trackpad here has haptic feedback, so you can actually feel motion and get feedback from how hard you're pushing it. Your traditional analog stick and then a directional pad. And what's amazing about this controller is just the amount of customization that you're going to go into. We'll show you some screens here later in SteamOS.
Right.
But the idea that you can map a game that only used a keyboard and mouse to a controller and actually have a really fun and exhilarating experience is so cool.
That's excellent. Now, before we jump into actually playing with the Steam controller, when can players expect to get their hands on your Steam Machine, and is there any pre-order and pre-order bonuses with it?
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago we announced in partnership with Valve and with GameStop a pre-order. So it went live, it's out at GameStop.com and in store, and if you pre-order now, we're actually going to be delivering that hardware to you nearly 1 month earlier than the rest of the world can get it. So we've announced at a November 10th launch date. But pre-order now through GameStop, GameStop.com, while supplies last, and you're going to be getting this system on October 16th. So be one of the first to get your hands on it, to play with it, to enjoy a whole new era of PC gaming in your living room.
Okay, that is absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. But, you know, without further ado, I figure we should start to play some of these games and to see how well we can use the controller.
All right, let's get at it.